The mark for his own rise is Olimar, which is a matchup that Void has specifically been looking to avoid, is the zoners and the sword characters, and Olimar, it can be a little bit of both.
Yep, so we're just going to hop into game 1 right now. Let's see how Void fares against Jabe so far, but he ends up getting the first hit, the first couple of hits now, actually.
And this is something I talked with Jabe about before this top 16. He said he wants to try to spend the beginning of this game getting a handle of how Void plays his character, because he's more used to fighting like conventional Peach mains between Smash 4 and this current game. And then he says, after the first 2 games, I'm hoping I'll have a game plan figured out to go from there.
Okay. Yeah, but so far, Void does have the early lead. Getting another backer has Jabe here at the ledge, but I love that drift back from Jabe, understanding the turnip is coming right at him, getting out of the way and trying to create some offense of his own, but dude, Void's pressure is just too much at the moment.
What was so great about that pressure, too, is Void recognized that Jabe had no Pikmin, right? That's the moment where you need to go in on Olimar, because he doesn't have a grab, he doesn't have smash attacks, he doesn't have aerials. All he can do at best is punish you with a tilt, and ooh, right there, the forward air takes it. But yeah, all he has in those moments are tilts, and he still needs to find downtime in order to pluck his Pikmin. And Void seems to be very aware of that, having to fight, take out both DeBuzz and Shuzhan in his past tournament history.
Yep. All right, so Jabe is just going to run up in there, getting the forward throw, and also, wow, oh my goodness, that down air coming out, but the side beat from Peach actually just hitting it and getting the Pikmin out of the way immediately. But here we have Void keeping up the pressure with the down airs, but you have Jabe immediately challenging back with that up tilt, a move you actually don't see too often with all of our mains.
Yeah, it's when you have like the up smash in his kit, it feels like kind of perfunctory to have like, oh, why would I move my own body when I can just shoot up a projectile right above my head? But it still does lead into certain confirms like it did in the previous game. Not confirms, but combos.
Man, what a confirm that is right there. You already know, tried and true. The back air from the purple Pikmin, gonna take away stocks as you need them. Getting away from the turnip setup one more time, but wow. The crown immediately from Void, erasing that stock.
The spacing on that down air was so perfect, too, because Void made sure that he was out of range of Jabe coming up with an up air. And like he still had the active down air right on top of it, too, to catch a jump, wake up, or a lot of other options.
No, and then definitely on top of that is the fact that he saw Jabe retreat from the ledge yet again, and he did that a little bit earlier on his first stock. Void saw it and made him pay.
Void already, like, he's testing Jabe's pressure points in this game and just seeing how he wants to retreat. And a lot of times it is what you pointed out, Miho, is that Jabe is just going from ledge to ledge over and over again, but either there or up on the platforms. Ooh, parry just gonna only get a jab off of it, though.
Good spacing, getting away completely from the side B attempt from Void, getting that forward smash. Not quite going to take the stock yet, but as I say that, another backer with the purple Pikmin G-Pick.
This is putting him in a good position, but this is where things are scary. Once again, off stage with the crown is going to do it for Jabe's third stock, and that's where he's really going to need to figure out his footing. Because so far, Void has shown that he has a very good eye on how Jabe wants to make it back to stage. And he has the arrow movement thanks to Peach's like drift in order to find these forward airs where they need to be.
No, I mean, and as an Olimar main, it's actually very difficult for you to get back to that stage. Some of you may or may not know is Olimar does not have a hitbox on his up B. When he wants to have a hitbox, he actually cancel his recovery with an arrow of his. But when he does that, he can't go back into his up B. He has to make sure he either lands onto that ledge or lands back onto the stage.
Right, because he just goes straight into free fall. And he can't stop his recovery with an air dodge either. So he is just fully committing to have his hurt box in a location. Void opting for the Daisy switch. I think this is just purely an aesthetic switch. We did recently, it came out that the turnips are the difference between Peach and Daisy, where Peaches are just a little bit stronger, yeah.
Yeah, it also helps a little bit better with the combo game, so hey, Void doesn't really care too much about that, still keeping up the pressure, getting a solid combo with that anyway. Oh, fantastic recognition out from Void, seeing the white Pikmin got on him, went for that neutral to get rid of it, and still keeping up the pressure as Jabe wants to get back to the stage, but it's just so difficult for him to get back. He is just overwhelmed at the moment.
And I think that's the motivation between his Kalos counterpick, because he wants to have those platforms right there on the ledge to give him that extra layer of mix-up when he's recovering. And so far it has helped him, because he does get a mix-up whether he's going to be landing up there or not, and it also gets in the way of Void's own edge guards, but not quite enough to carry him all the way back. Void applying a lot of shield pressure. And otherwise not committing too hard in these chases. He has the lead and he recognizes that he can kind of get away to force the zoner to come in on him for once.
Ooh, Jabe just running up there, getting the up smash on the shield, just getting a couple jabs as well, trying to get Void off of him to see what type of defensive option he's going to be picking, but still, that up smash not enough to take it away.
2 purples and a white. This is actually a really strong lineup for Jabe. If he can find a way to take out Void's stock, he can actually make a huge amount of progress on the next one. And having these 2 purples helps set up this big anti-air zone in front of him, because that's going to make, because when Peach is gliding, right, she can't actually put up her shield. So you can just throw out these walls of purples over and over again to keep her locked down on the ground, and then you still have so much shield stun and so much damage back behind your hits.
Yeah, and Jabe recognized that immediately. He went with that up air this time around to take that stock from Void, and I think that's something that he needs to continue doing, whether it be with the up air or even with the up smash, as we hinted at earlier. You need to go ahead and put something in the vicinity of Peach and or Daisy.
Fortunately for Jabe now, both of his purples are dead, which is great for Void. Now he's going to be able to... He actually tried to contest it. He actually got being out by the drop through yellow hit.
I just love the patience that Void was displaying there. For a minute, he was like, okay, cool, you're up there. You already have 3 Pikmin. What are you going to be doing? Okay, just a frying pan, setting him straight up the top. If that was one of the other hitboxes, if he went out more, definitely was going to lose that stock.
He caught Jabe's jab with the frying pan. That's the part that's blowing my mind. It would have whiffed otherwise.
Have you tried punching a frying pan, G-Pick?
Oh, it doesn't end well, believe me. I mean, Game & Watch, I know this. Already starting off with a strong 50%, and we're actually getting a taste of Void's like tempo mix-up. That's been the main thing he's been practicing as Peach and Daisy this tournament. Is he doesn't have that same familiarity he has with Pichu, but he does still have the ability to execute with these characters. But what he's found is that one of his best mix-ups is drifting between doing a ton of button presses and like intense pressure into doing nothing and just watching the opponent get uneasy. And we've been seeing him switch between the 2 on Jabe over and over again, where when he goes in, he finds like 50% damage, and then he just stays and he watches in these advantage states too.
Challenging with the purple Pikmin one more time. Jabe able to land back to the stage. Again, the side B just getting Void off of him, but Void again just keeping up with all this pressure. The forward air is just really not feeling threatened by Jabe so far in this set.
Right, yeah, Jabe's been having a hard time. Like, Jabe's plan going into this was to try to beat out those forward airs preemptively, because there is that wind-up where she grabs the crown. But so far, he's not had much success for it, and we see him like now just hunkering down in his shield when faced with that threat.
Yeah, I think that also comes down to the spacing that Void is going at right now. I mean, just like that, he saw that Jabe was coming at him. You saw that forward air attempt come out. He just went cleanly over it and got a forward air on his own.
Yep, it's the power of the spacing, and then that's part of the reason why Peach and Daisy are such strong characters, is that, and it's not just they have shield pressures, they can play that mid-range game so well and just make sure that they line up their essentially an air F smash while gliding back and forth at the same time. It's very scary to deal with.
All right, so Void going back to the Peach this time around. I'm not entirely sure why he's going between the 2, but hey, whatever gets you W's.
I am pretty much entirely convinced it's just like aesthetic at this point.
He's like, I just want to play a different color real quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm feeling like a blonde. Other days, I want to go brunette. You never know.
Jabe already breaking out of that combo. Oh, I see a whistle already come out. That actually is something that we didn't see from him in the previous 2 games in Disadvantage. No attempts to really whistle through the forward airs to make it back on stage. It's understandable because it is a precise timing where you have to... Oh! You have about a 5-frame window of armor, but wow, the spike actually taking out Void stock entirely. I didn't realize he had used his double
challenge out from Jabe to go ahead and get that stock, and I think he needs to take a little more of those risks against Void, because Void is just kind of going a slight autopilot to an extent. He's like, okay, I know my forward air can just go across all the hitboxes that you want right now. You're not showing me anything else, but now you're tossing a couple more of those downers, a couple more of those up smashes, Void's gonna have to think twice.
Yeah, especially because those are hitboxes that you're challenging vertically with, as opposed to horizontally.
Good high recovery coming out from Jabe, getting away from the pressuring Void, trying to just vulture out these stocks. But oh my goodness, that Pikmin just kicked out the way.
Already, Jabe getting a solid lapping on Void, and oh my gosh, he had just the right spacing for the roll get up, but I think tried to read a neutral get up instead. But Jabe still finds the blue grab and sits at a solid 2-stock lead now. This is kind of similar to what Jabe was saying, right? I'm going to spend the first 2 games to get a handle on what Void specifically looks to do with Peach and Daisy, and I'm going to take advantage of it and see how far it can take me for the rest of the set.
And Void finally gets himself on the board, getting the first stock with another forward air. Yeah, but no, to your point, G-Pick, you have Jabe showing tremendous adaptation at the moment. He's just allowing Void to kind of hit that first button and going for a lot more of the whiff punishes this time around.
Trying to whiff punish. Oh, actually getting the shield poke rather with the nair. Trying to get it to solid juggles into a vortex with the landing on the air dodge. Not quite finding it. It's still otherwise keeping a very strong mid-range, but getting picked up. And the scary thing is the moment you see a Peach convert into that down tilt. Because that down tilt is the Pringles can, where suddenly you're eating like 60-70% of damage after what comes next.
Have fun. Whether you like it or not, you're definitely finishing that box.
Oh, yeah. It's addicting, man. Even you start bopping your head, even if you're the one getting in the hit.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to replace it with Soylent eventually.
20 grams of protein, that's all I'm saying.
It's a lot better than some Pringles.
Void stalking the ledge, and this is the danger, right, of playing Olimar, but that was actually really nice of Jabe. He stalled out his recovery to make sure that the float ran out for Void, so he had to go back up. Otherwise, Void would have just down-aired immediately as Jabe went up, and he would have been a goner.
Oh, Void trying to get that back air. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. Going to the opposite side as well, just avoiding Void.
Yeah, and that was kind of necessary. Jabe tossed both of his Pikmins on his way down because he wanted to make sure he had enough gas in his tank to make it to the other side.
Okay, Void expecting Jabe to come down off of that platform. Did not get it on that side B, but Jabe in a fantastic position to take this. And as I say it, a forward smash coming out to take that stock.
That was such a beautiful recognition by Jabe to recognize that Void had gone into like kill mode, right? And that he was now looking to close out that stock immediately. So just running to build up that space and knowing that the hitbox was coming, here's the forward smash to beat you out halfway through.
And honestly, that counter pick is exactly what Jabe needed. The platform's making it very difficult for Void to get back onto the stage, and it also just extended the combo ability that he had. There were plenty of instances where he got that down tilt or even just a down throw and got so many up airs afterwards.
Oh yeah, and then like even if it didn't pan out, he could just drop through the platform himself and still catch the air dodge landing. The Pokemon Stadium 2 now, this is the first counter pick by Void. Maybe the only one he needs. Maybe he'll need a second one.
Yeah,
but this is where things...
He also swapped back over to the Daisy.
I genuinely think he's just changing every game. I think he just doesn't care. Because, I mean, previously the only talk that he mentioned is just he doesn't like using Peach because all the Peach colors that he likes are taken by Samsora. Mm-hmm. So it's just like...
So all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that downer actually extending off of the Pikmin and just barely getting out of the way the forward smash attempt from Void, but you can't avoid that forwarder either.
Jay making it back to the ledge. Wow, the purple grab coming through. Very impressive stuff, because those grabs actually have much less range than everybody else, because the purples are a little bit slower. That's why it pays off for them to get those flowers on their heads.
Yeah, it also caught Void while that windup was going with that forwarder like you were talking about earlier, G-Pick.
Mm-hmm. Void waiting patiently. I love just the way that Void like recognizes how his opponent has been like reacting to where he stands near the ledge and then starts punishing that really hard. Like he stands in a specific spot because he knows, right, Jabe's not going to do a roll get up because it looks like he just wants to catch that, and instead just drifts back and catches the neutral get up instead with the back air.
Oh, clean
it's so
23
sick.
Off of the turnip throw as well. A forwarder for his troubles. One more. Oh my goodness, barely missing it, and that would have taken the stock G-Pick.
Oh yeah, no,
very fortunate stuff for Jabe.
We saw that in game one, and Void's still hunting for that forward air. He wants to close out the second stock real fast.
Void going deep right now, trying to catch him with the stage spike, possibly with the umbrella. Not gonna get it.
Still floating there. Jabe finally just showing, fine, I'll just get up attack from the ledge. So that respect me a little bit. At least put up your shield if you're going to be standing there.
Yep, they're not quite going to do it yet.
That drift
Void going to
back.
catch him with the forward air again. And yes, excellent spacing out from Void.
Because he recognized that Jabe actually is a fan of the up tilt. Like you said, a lot of Olimars don't bring out that move as often. And Void made sure to just slightly drift out of range of both that and the up smash. Now Void has himself just as big of a lead as Jabe did in the previous game, which is going to be, like, we know it's possible for Jabe to take a couple of Void stocks, but he needs to be playing flawlessly. Otherwise, he's going down to losers before top 8.
Yeah, Void is so confident right now, not even going to the ledge in that last instance. He just aired out straight in front of Jabe. Jabe, no punish, ate a quick 35, but finally able to land that back air and getting himself on the board here in game 4.
He actually, so that was funny because Void was just killing the Pikmin with down tilt, and he happens to catch Jabe trying to close that gap himself. It doesn't pick up too big of a combo afterwards.
No,
but
Jabe also able to land onto the stage, finally taking advantage of that whistle, something that we have not seen too often in this set. Hopefully it can come in the clutch, possibly get him a game to go into game 5, but it is a long road before that.
Yeah, this is very tough, especially with the percent that's on him. Like a fair near center stage might actually threaten killing him at this point. And on top of that, you have 2 whole stocks of Void and Void's edge guards to try to get around. That is a tall order.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I don't know how he avoided all of that, but great stuff to Jabe right there. Still holding on for dear life right now. Okay, Void, you cannot just move your shield like that. He's dancing on him.
Void loves jiggling his shield. He knows exactly what he can cover with it. And other than that, we have Void trying to slow down the tempo just long enough to find that forward air, and he connects it right in Jabe's face and